Live, local, social. It's time for the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show. On cable, on the web, and all over social media. Featuring stories from close to home, starring people like you. Live from Greater West Bloomfield, it's the Splash Live.
Welcome, friends and neighbors, to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. I'm Tyler Keefe. Thank you so much for joining us each and every day and all across our social media as well. Close to home, the highly anticipated move of Marvin's marvelous mechanical museum is well underway, with the wonders and whimsy on their way to the heart of the town center district in West Bloomfield over at the Orchard Mall. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff is live in West Bloomfield with the latest. Jake.
Tyler, things around Greater West Bloomfield are definitely starting to get just a little more marvelous with every passing day. And that is because, as you said, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum has been hard at work building their brand new home right here at the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield. It's just going to be in that building right over there. I spoke with Jeremy Yagoda just last week, just recently, and got some great information as to how the process is going and when they think they might be opening up very, very soon.
It's been long, it's been chaotic, it's been fun, but we're reaching the home stretch, and now we're getting ready to start bringing in all the stuff and putting it up on the walls and the ceiling and all that fun stuff. We're now almost 3 times as big. We're able to have some private party rooms. It's just going to give us more space to do more things, bring in new games, and make it fun and exciting for everyone.
Do you have an estimate on maybe when the new building will be ready to go, serving the public again?
It's really just going to depend on how long it takes to get everything up. Our goal is for late April, hopefully. It's so exciting to see how marvelous everybody's been, from our fans to Orchard Mall to the city of West Bloomfield themselves. Everyone's excited to have us here, and we can't wait to open up for everyone.
What is it about this place that you think really encapsulates that childhood wonder from a lot of the people that stop by?
We just have, our oldest machine's over 100 years old, so nobody that comes in here is not going to find something from when they grew up. I just had someone who was 65 on Facebook asking us if they could have a birthday party or if they weren't a kid anymore. And we're open to all kids from 1 to 101. Being a kid isn't just about the age, it's the state of mind. And I can't wait to bring in more birthday parties, bigger birthday parties, and great memories for everybody. Everybody we've dealt with in West Bloomfield has been excited to have us, been supportive and willing to do whatever they can to help us make this happen. I can't thank the whole city council, the whole government, the guys like you from the local access, everyone who's just helping us make this happen. It's marvelous.
And to just see Marvins continue to grow and continue to make an impact throughout West Bloomfield and cities beyond Michigan even, I mean, that's got to feel great.
It does. It's exciting, and it's marvelous to see how many people love what my dad started as a hobby. He was a pharmacist. Our family owned a drugstore in Detroit for 90 some odd years, and this was really just a hobby for him. It was about being able to share his stuff with other people. And it's just great to see how much it excites people, how much people love it and have embraced it over the years. I get stories all the time from couples who've had their first dates here, or people like you who are talking about a birthday party they've had here. And it's just so cool to see that you're able to touch so many people in such a positive way. We can't wait to be part of the community fully. And for what's coming, you're just going to have to wait and see and come in. I mean, it's going to be as much as excitement as we can possibly pack into here.
That was the owner and self-proclaimed ringmaster Grand Poobah, Jeremy Yagoda, spilling all the details on Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. As he said, late April is the current estimation as to when the doors will be open once again. And still some things he's keeping close to his chest, but plenty of surprises to come with this beloved establishment in West Bloomfield.
Jake, I need you to be honest with me, and be honest, frankly, with the people of Greater West Bloomfield. While you were in there with Jeremy and his team at Marvin's getting this story, how many of those games did you play?
It was tempting, Tyler. Unfortunately, none of the games are connected just yet, so I had to hold on. I had to hold on to my tokens, but definitely those will be coming back into play. And like I said last time, Tyler, I had my birthday here all the way like back when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
My birthday is around early May. And if they're opening in late April, that is going to be just in time for possibly another birthday celebration. It'll be perfect for me and perfect for so many people in Greater West Bloomfield.
It just happens to be you'll be out at the Orchard Mall on your birthday to cover a story. We got you. It's all good, Jake. Jake Schaff out at the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield Township with the latest on Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tyler.
You can keep up to date with them as well on their Facebook page. A lot to type in, but it's pretty easy to remember. Facebook.com/Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. You can also visit their website, marvin3m.com. Or, of course, stay tuned right here. We'll keep you updated on all of the fun happening at the Orchard Mall. It's a heat wave in Greater West Bloomfield. Weather forecasts for this week have temperatures peaking as high as 60. That's right, 60 in the winter in February. A far cry from those 20 below wind chill days of recent weeks past. But is it real? Do people believe it's time to get back outside in the Tri-Cities and West Bloomfield? Civic Center TV reporter Jonathan Montgomery went out on the town seeking those answers.
Things are heating up in the Greater West Bloomfield area, so we took to the street to ask locals what their thoughts and plans were for the warmer week ahead.
Not quite warm enough yet for pickleball outside, but you know, when it gets close to 50, we'll be doing that, and can't wait to get back out on the golf course.
To not be freezing cold, and the roads will be nice. Yes. And it'll be a pleasure to walk out to your car and get in the car and not worry about the streets. So we love when it gets nicer out.
Going outside. That's basically it. Yep. You know, we're in Michigan. Mm-hmm. I understand cold, but this has been brutal cold, and we have not had that in quite a while. So yeah, 40 will probably seem like 80.
Things are warming up this week, so make sure that you get out and enjoy the Greater West Bloomfield area. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jonathan Montgomery.
Yeah, pretty cool. We've seen grass and we've seen sun on multiple days, sometimes even consecutively. Look, we don't ask for much here in Greater West Bloomfield in the winter or anywhere in Michigan in the winter. When we have that, we got all that we need. Heck, I was out over the weekend. I had my winter jacket on. I was out driving around, didn't have the heat on, just the sun alone. I was burning after about 10 minutes in the car. But now it's your turn. Comment on our social media posts on Facebook and on Instagram and let us know what you will be up to during this little winter heat wave of ours here in Greater West Bloomfield. See all those links, civiccentertv.com, and follow us across social media for the latest from across Greater West Bloomfield. We told you about a special Valentine's Day party for the kids last week, and at West Bloomfield Middle School, these Lakers got a head start on all of that fun as they completed their week of school. Look at this. We'll put some pictures up on the screen. Games, tasty treats, and a dance party all on a Friday. That's how you celebrate the end of a school week and the kickoff of the midwinter break in West Bloomfield. You can see even more fun from across the West Bloomfield School District on their Facebook page. Latest updates, facebook.com/West Bloomfield Schools. Close to home, celebrating other unsung heroes from our local schools as the West Bloomfield Police Department shares their appreciation for our school resource officers, Detective Scholdinger and Cherry, all in recognition of School Resource Officer Appreciation Day, applauding their professionalism, dedication to trust building with students, staff, and the community, and being strong role models for our kids each and every day. You can also say your thanks as well to them. Visit the West Bloomfield Police Facebook page, facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD, or as you're picking your kids up from school this week, if you see the School Resource Officer, give them a thank you. They're doing a lot more than just patrolling the facilities each and every day for your kids and our community. Get in the spirit of Black History Month at the 2026 Black Expo. That's coming up this weekend at the Orchard Mall. The countdown is on, and there will be plenty of everything to explore on Saturday afternoon all over West Bloomfield's very own enclosed mall. That includes how faith connects our community. Joining me with insight on those connections is the senior pastor at Covenant Baptist Church in West Bloomfield, Reverend Jabdulani McAllister. Reverend McAllister, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me again, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Happy to have you on as we get ready for the Black Expo, because there's so much that's going to be there, all these different events, all these different vendors, businesses, shops that are going to be there. But faith plays a huge part in building connections of our community. Whether you're practicing Christianity, Judaism, Islam, or any other of the many religions that make up our community. From your side, being part of our local clergy here in Greater West Bloomfield, how does faith build in to community building?
Faith builds in because it offers a sense of hope, and especially in times where there's great despair happening, there's great vision. I think that having a centering focus on faith and people of faith coming together, it helps us to renew our hope and the decency of humanity, and those of us that believe that God is our centering force. It helps us bring us together.
And there's so many different faith communities in Greater West Bloomfield. That's what is part of what makes this community so special, is that people from all different backgrounds, people from all different faiths, all different practices can call this place home and can coexist with so many other people. Our community is that shining example. And so for you and other faith leaders in the community, how do you communicate on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis to provide that sense of cohesion between your organizations that ultimately gets out into the wider community?
Well, one of the ways in which I do that personally is I meet with the Greater West Bloomfield Faith and Clergy Alliance, which is our new name. I know it's a mouthful, but it's a bunch of different community leaders and different faith leaders that come together and share what we have going on in our organizations and our faith traditions, and we support each other to have a tangible witness and showing of the unity that's possible, even if we have diametrically different ways of looking at theology and just all kinds of things. But it's a way of showing some solidarity in our community to let people know that it is possible to be together, even when you don't necessarily believe the exact same thing. You can find some commonalities and some common ground to make a community vibrant.
The Black Expo is happening on Saturday, February 21st, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield. Over 70 different vendors will be there, including Reverend Jabulani McAllister from Covenant Baptist Church, connecting faith to Black History Month and to our community. Faith often is so much about uniting a group of people in your church or in that church wider community, or connecting the church community to other aspects. As we celebrate Black History Month, and particularly the journey of Black Americans on their path to the freedoms they have today and the freedoms that are still necessary to seek for greater equity and equality in our community, how does faith factor into helping the wider community bring those steps forward even more beyond the month of February?
So one of the ways in which Covenant Baptist Church has done that is making sure that we are involved in activities like this. One of my predecessors actually started our engagement in the community in this way and started celebrating Black History Month, because most people don't realize it. But Covenant Baptist Church is not a quote unquote Black church as people think, because I'm the pastor. As an African American, I'm actually the first Black pastor they've ever had since its inception in 1894. It's been in West Bloomfield since 1974. But like I said, my immediate predecessor knew that it was important to reach out, especially as more African American and those of African descent members started joining the church. He began to open the doors up and reach out to them in these ways to show the support. So not just inside the church, but connecting with the community as well, to let people know that we're there. You know, with some people, they drive by in our location right there on Maple between Orchard Lake and Farmington, and the way that it's situated, you wouldn't necessarily know it's a church there. Most people just think that we're preschool, but when they discover that we're a church and we have something to offer, they come in. But we continue to reach out in these ways. Like I said, that community group I'm a part of, intentionally coming to Black Expos to make sure that we have that exposure.
Reverend Jabulani McAllister is with us from Covenant Baptist Church in West Bloomfield. He'll be at the 2026 Black Expo on Saturday, February 21st. Stop by his position there and have a nice conversation with him. And Reverend, at an event like that, it's so busy, it's so loud, it's so packed, there's so much action going on. People may look at that from the outside looking in and say, well, how is talking to one of our local pastors, one of our local faith leaders, really going to be an effective thing that we can do there? Or maybe I don't practice Christianity. What am I going to get out of this station? For those that may not know what they could get out of speaking to you or other faith leaders at this particular event, why should they still consider stopping by your desk and getting to meet you and your team?
Well, because we offer a lot of different services through our church in particular, and other churches and faith leaders do as well. And so one of the reasons why we reach out in these ways is because we know that a lot of people may not practice our faith tradition, or they may not be able to get to our service per se. But having a person that is able to speak to what we actually do and who we actually are breaks down some of those barriers of assumptions and unrealistic expectations of what the quote-unquote church is. And so having me and some of my team there, we'll have resources like our emergency food pantry that we have, that people come and check us out, and they were able to get resources and different things. We have a lot of children programming. Like I said, we have our preschool. I'm coming again to have a book signing with my book, Hope Beyond Hope, to have some tools beyond just the expo on a Sunday morning, and just making sure that they know that even though they may not practice what I do, we're still here for the community.
And it's a great way to bridge some of those gaps, to create some commonality and some connections between people of all different areas of our community, all different communities within the greater West Bloomfield area and across our multi-faith community here in greater West Bloomfield. Reverend McAllister, before I let you go, what lessons do you believe people can take from the overall act of the 2026 Black Expo? Having so many people in the same place from all different walks of life, from in greater West Bloomfield and outside of greater West Bloomfield, seeing a bunch of different activities, a bunch of different ways people get involved and getting a chance to learn. How can that be beneficial for people to practice outside of this week's Saturday, outside of this event, and outside of Black History Month?
Because the Expo, I believe, gives a microcosm, or a taste test, if you will, of the larger impact that African Americans have had in our country, from inventions to beyond just faith traditions, and just all kinds of things that African Americans have contributed to being a part of this country that most people wouldn't necessarily have access to. But this is a jump off point for them to go deeper with their appetite, if you will, to find out even more of the enriched opportunity they would have to interact with African Americans and African American culture. Because as you said, we have a very diverse community. Our church in particular is very diverse. I know that others may be more monolithic in terms of who goes there, but we are very intentional about highlighting not only African American culture, but because we have other races, ethnicities that go to our church in particular, we make sure that we highlight those as well. But like I said, because there's been such a concerted effort lately to really erase Black culture, it's important for us to have these kinds of things so people will know the importance of African Americans also in this country.
One of the many great things about the greater West Bloomfield community is the exposure to so many different cultures, so many different walks of life, and it gives people, as you even mentioned there, Reverend McAllister, a sense of belonging and a sense of understanding of different experiences that maybe you don't have each and every day. Thank you so much for your time today, and we'll see you on Saturday at the Black Expo.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. More information about the 2026 Black Expo put on by the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force is available on wbparks.org/Black Expo. Join us, West Bloomfield Parks, the library, the township, police, fire, everyone and anyone is welcome to attend the event. It is entirely free with 70+ vendors, music, entertainment, shopping, everything you need, all encompassed in the Orchard Mall, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, February 21st. Our that's right, 7 local school districts are a never-stopping machine of education, business, and community outreach. And your involvement makes it easier to improve programs for your kids' day-to-day school experience and, of course, for the future of our school districts. In West Bloomfield, your involvement is sought out by Superintendent Dr. Danya Bazzi at her Donuts with Danya events. She joins us now with all the details on these conversations with you and others in the community. Dr. Bazzi, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Good morning to you.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about this. This is an ongoing effort. It's nothing new in your office or from the West Bloomfield School District, but it's an important one for you. Why do you find it important to be able to have routine connections with families out in the community and open a dialogue like this?
I think it's really important for, access and connection. It's a comfortable space for dialogue to have. Basically, it allows us to share some district initiatives and some important things on the horizon, but also provides a space for parents and families to come in and connect with district leaders and just ask kind of any questions they might have. Sometimes they're very specific, sometimes they're random, but allowing for that space to allow the community to connect with us kind of in an informal setting ensures that the lines of communication are always open.
And there's always something happening in our local school districts. They're always moving, living, breathing machines. And so it can be tough for even people that work on it every single day to kind of keep up with all that action, let alone parents who are so focused day to day on their kids and their families. How does something like this help to bridge some of those gaps and clear up the communication?
Well, that's a great question because during the time we're going to really hit on a broad amount of district initiatives, student programming, facility updates that are happening across the districts. Again, the goal is for us to provide a very succinct, quick update so that people are in the know of things that come along. Obviously, parents and families get a lot of newsletters that come home from their teachers, from their buildings, from the district. So this just lets us to have, to schedule time that's in person that allows us to really share some broader, bigger updates of our strategic plan and make sure that our community is aware of those opportunities that are coming for their students and initiatives that are coming up as well.
And you can have these conversations with families all the time. Any organization can, especially a public government organization like our schools. But it's one thing to have those conversations and have them just be a community service. It's another thing to take that into action and move some of those details, some of those requests into form that will help maybe an individual school or the school district at large. So Dr. Bazzi, when you have these conversations with parents and other stakeholders in the community, how does the school district then take those conversations and translate them into tangible action?
So, there are certainly topics that come up and we follow up on each of those with families. It might be a curricular related question that I'm able to give an answer, but it might require a more in-depth response. And then that's when we'll follow up with our Assistant Superintendent of Learning Services, Scott Long. And then he then follows up with people who made it a point to come out to ask those types of questions. So if there's anything that needs deeper review or deeper thought to provide those connections, our staff is wonderful at taking the notes from those types of evenings, sharing it with the appropriate department heads or building leaders, and then provide follow-up on those. Sometimes it gives us a little bit of insight. For example, snow days is always a topic that is important to the community. And I remember at the start of our time, we'd send an email and you'd get a phone call. And then from these types of meetings, parents said, if you could send a quick text along with that phone call, that would immediately come to our cellular device and it would just be more immediate. Sometimes the call is missed or they don't see the email in time. So that's the type of feedback that we get that helps us improve our communications, improve our connections with the community. And so we're always looking those opportunities. It's not a one and done. We don't have these sessions and then not follow up. That is important to us. If people are going to if the community is going to take time to come and connect with us, we're going to make sure that we follow up with them.
Dr. Danya Bazzi is with us on the Splash Live today. Superintendent of the West Bloomfield School District. Donuts with Danya, regular conversations with the superintendent all throughout the school year. More information on those can be found on wbsd.org and on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. Got one coming up this week, 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday at the West Bloomfield Administration Building, or ACS, located on Commerce Road, 6:30 p.m. The next one will be a morning edition, May 14th at 9:30 a.m. Dr. Bazzi, these are important conversations to have with families in the community, and it's also a good time to give some specific parents and community stakeholders updates on some of the most recent developments in the West Bloomfield School District. What will be some of those topics that will be covered this week?
You know, we're going to really stress kind of the high school and kind of all of the opportunities that come out of West Bloomfield High School, all of the different paths that students can take as they go through their high school experience. It's going to talk about the fact that we have 50 clubs, 38 varsity sports, that we have career pathways that take you down a medical field, down the business field, down the engineering and technology field. So kind of those different pathways that exist at West Bloomfield High School, and the amazing things that are happening and the amazing opportunities that we believe makes our high school really a unique experience. There's not one particular thing that makes the experience at West Bloomfield High School superb. It's the fact that we really are working to meet the individual needs of each student and kind of create a systems of schools rather than just, you know, one school system that's one size fits all. So that's going to be a big part of it. Another big part of it, obviously, is going to be some of our facility improvements that you're going to see. People have been able to see the new SHICO take form. There's also going to be the new STEAM space and the career and technical education space at West Bloomfield High School that will commence this summer. So those are kind of two of the big picture things that we want to share. Again, what we're trying to show the community is that there's amazing, you know, from the academics to the arts to the extracurriculars. Our student Lakers have really an incredible, rich educational experience.
Tuesday, February 17th, 6:30 p.m. at the ACS building, the West Bloomfield School District's Administration Building, the second of three Donuts with Danya conversations with the superintendent for the 2025-2026 academic year in West Bloomfield. Dr. Bazzi, this one's great. It's in the evening. It's after most people's regular work hours. The other two for the school year happen to be in the morning, but that's not the only opportunity that parents will have or that stakeholders will have to communicate with the school district. What are some additional ways that you keep your office door open and the communication window open for parents across the school district if they want to learn more about what's going on in their kids' schools or across the district, or have other questions and concerns for your office throughout the school year?
You know, my door is always open for those types of conversation, whether they be one-on-one or in small group. But I think the way that we keep those lines of communication open is being present in the community. I see the community and our families at events from the elementary level to the middle school level to the high school level. I think being present in the community is really important. So that families are comfortable coming up to you and having those discussions. That's something that, you know, I invest a lot of time in being present within the West Bloomfield School District community. And I found that families find it with ease to call me. Most people have access to my cell phone, email me, and reach out when they have those types of questions. So while these experiences exist, these are not in isolation. The community knows that my door is always open to them. Ultimately, we're partners in creating a school district that is kind of the ethos of the district and the heart of the community. And we're, you know, myself as well as all of our staff are committed to doing that.
Look, people are always going to have their positives, their negatives, their evaluations all across the board, but it's important for an organization like yours to keep the doors open, to keep those communications going back and forth with the people of the community, because as you and your team say all the time, education, most of it doesn't happen in the classroom. It happens at home. It happens between the community. So how does that factor into why, even in addition to all that you've already mentioned, why this is such an important activity for your office?
You know, I think you said it right. There's no system is perfect, right? But we don't want, you know, perfection to get in the way of excellence. I think as long as everyone is working in a way that is trying to figure out solutions to problems that exist within today's educational system or challenges that our students are facing, if we attack those problems as partners and not adversaries, I think that we'll be much more successful. You know, I always equate kind of your school family to your own personal family. There's, in your own personal lives, there's dynamics with your mother, father, siblings, family, friends, and you work through those challenges as a family. And I see the school system the same way. We always want our students, families, and community to feel like they can come to us and express how they feel, whether it be positive or negative. And then to have a solutions-oriented mindset, because ultimately we're educating people's most important thing, their children. And so doing that together is very important. We want them to be successful when they leave our walls, and it's really important that we walk forward as partners in doing that.
It's all about the kids. That's what it's all about. Dr. Bazzi, thank you so much for joining us today and previewing this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. More information and events on the West Bloomfield School District's Facebook page, including future editions of Donuts with Danya. You can find those by following the school district on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools, and a full calendar of events all across our West Bloomfield schools are available on WBSD.org. With a brand new community center set to be built on the West Bloomfield Civic Center campus, the now closed Recreation Activity Center is on the trail to demolition. But before it meets the wrecking ball, it's being put to use to save the lives of our local firefighters. Civic Center TV reporter Jake Schaff has the story.
Right here in West Bloomfield, several emergency training exercises have been taking place recently amongst our first responders. And just recently, the West Bloomfield Fire Department initiated some of those training exercises right here at the old West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Building, utilizing this old abandoned space for this temporary purpose to train these firefighters in immersive yet dangerous situations that could occur on the job at any given time.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate with the Mayday training that we're doing. This is firefighters practicing rescuing our own people. So in the event when we're doing a firefighter, we call it Mayday, and that's for us to react to our own people that are having an emergency inside of a structure fire, and we're able to remedy that problem by going in and trying to effect a rescue. The crews don't know this building. We smoke it up, which makes zero visibility, and crews are themselves practicing getting lost, confused, and how to remedy that problem. So it's a huge benefit to the department, to the public, because now we're more proficient at how we do our searches and rescues, and we're keeping our people and our residents safer.
How crucial are training exercises like this one for the fire department team?
I would say it's extremely, extremely important. It doesn't happen very often, but it's that kind of horror story that you don't want to happen. So it's always train for the worst. Obviously, we train year-round, but this is a training that's not done very frequently, and I think it's very important that we do this, because if it's a sticky situation, you want to be able to be prepared to get one of your own out of the building.
You're pitch black in an environment that none of these guys going through this training today have ever been in. So even though it's not a real emergency, and we're guiding people in and guiding people out, everybody's still getting turned around just based off of how much fake smoke we have here, and again, the zero visibility.
We make the real noise that you'd have in a fire scene with saws running, the fire alarm activated, because in a real fire you're going to have that in a building, and then try to have them locate the downed firefighter or the firefighter that's lost and confused, and communicate how we effectively get them out.
So really trying to immerse the firefighters in this situation, make them believe that this is real.
Yes, very much so, to the point where they're in full gear, on air, using their radio, and as soon as their Mayday has been called, they're actively trying to effect that rescue immediately.
What do you see from your fellow firefighters during training exercises like this one?
You know, we like to have a lot of fun. We show up, and obviously sometimes some people aren't in the mood for it, but no matter what, We get the training done. We feel better about it. We kind of have some good jargon. A lot of times with training like this, a lot of our 2 different units come together and you get to hang out and see everybody. So not only is it great and it helps prepare for our job, it's a good time for us. We like doing this kind of thing.
What do you want the West Bloomfield community to understand about training exercises like these and the importance of them?
Super beneficial for them because in these trainings, as your fire department is training regularly on a consistent basis, it's making our service much more professional. We deliver the service at a much more effective rate, and it's better preparedness for the community.
All in a day's work for the West Bloomfield Fire Department, who are not only working to keep the community safe, but their fellow firefighters as well, as they are prepared to rely on each other in times of distress, should it ever, but hopefully never, occur. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
A great way to put the now closed Recreation Activity Center to even more good use. In recent weeks, multiple training events with our public safety departments in Greater West Bloomfield have taken place in that building. Recently, the West Bloomfield Township Board and the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Commission both giving the green light for demolition of that building to make room for the newly built community center on the Civic Center campus. More information on that is on the West Bloomfield Parks website, wbparks.org. And of course, updates from the West Bloomfield Fire Department are available on Facebook at WB Fire Department. Really cool way to get some very essential training for our firefighters across all of our different firehouses in West Bloomfield, and an opportunity they'll have plenty in the future on their own facilities at Fire Station number 1, where they have their training house also going to be available on that updated campus. Close to home, across Greater West Bloomfield, kids have dedicated themselves to academics and to giving back to their hometown, amassing many accomplishments along the way. But now, West Bloomfield Youth Assistance wants your help to celebrate them for their achievements. But time is running out to get their names in the running for these awards. Here to tell us what you need to know to get your kids recognized and their due accolades is Detrice Schultz from the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance. Detrice, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you on as we get ready for the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance Youth Recognition Awards. The awards are going to be earlier than ever this year, happening in late March, but that means nominations have to get in sooner rather than later as well. The deadline is Friday, February 20th. For those that may be new to the community or unfamiliar with this effort, tell us a little bit about the background behind the Youth Assistance Awards.
The Youth Assistance Award is a nominating program through the West Bloomfield community. Parents can nominate, teachers can nominate, anybody within the West Bloomfield community. Examples of reasons of nomination could be volunteer services, personal acts of leadership, self-improvement through personal or academic achievement, and remarkable perseverance through hardship or tragedy. They can apply online at the West Bloomfield Youth Recognition website, and most of our flyers are in every single school, and they can use the QR code to apply. The deadline is February 20th to get all applications in.
And it's important, too, to give these kids an opportunity to not only be able to have volunteer service in their community, to learn why that's important, but this shows them, too, that it's important to their community. So how do you recognize these kids beyond simply just you get recognized for an award at an award show? What goes beyond this in the Youth Recognition Awards process?
Well, what goes on is the individual that is doing the sending in the application, they will also fill out a brief summary of whatever act of kindness it is. That person will present that on stage in front of everybody. They will read exactly what they wrote for the nomination as to why they're being recognized. Each student that is recognized do receive multiple awards from, the for the youth recognition, as well as judges and other leaders within the community. There is a big ceremony that does take place to make each individual feel very, very, very encouraged to continue on to doing what they're doing and that's being great within the community.
And service is such an important element of what we hope to pass on here in Greater West Bloomfield. The Michigan Week Awards, a big part of that. All these different committees that plan the big events of the year in the Tri-Cities, like Eagle Harbor, Parks and Rec, Sylvan Lake Parks and Rec, the garden clubs, all of that. Getting involved from a young age, it's really where we get the foundation of what keeps our community strong for years to come. And in terms of West Bloomfield Youth Assistance, how does the Youth Recognition Awards and the process of getting these kids recognized for what they do in and outside of our school communities reflect the mission of your organization?
It reflects it by us keeping the youth encouraged, keeping them engaged within the community. And I think by doing this, it reflects on other individuals that may have, some trouble going on, and they can see others doing great things within the community, and they can encourage other children to do the same.
And how do the kids that are recognized for this? Because often, as you mentioned earlier on, they are leaders in their classroom. They do take that extra initiative to help their teachers, to help their classmates, to help their community beyond the walls of their schools. How do they ultimately play an important role in the different tasks that West Bloomfield Youth Assistance undertakes, particularly for kids that are in an at-risk position in our schools?
I think it's more so, like I said, encouragement, leadership, and I think just them just doing day-to-day things that they already are doing. They're not even realizing that they're doing these great acts of kindness. They're just individuals who probably automatically do these things, and helping other kids. I think by doing this, it really encourages others.
Latrice Schultz is with us from West Bloomfield Youth Assistance. Their 2026 Youth Recognition Awards will be in late March. Their nominations, however, currently underway, and they're wrapping up at the end of this week. February 20th is the deadline. WBYouthAssistance.org is the website. Scan that QR code on your screen with us on Splash Live on CivicCenterTV.com. We'll keep that up on your screen for just a moment so you can pause the video, scan that QR code, and nominate one of our local kids for recognition for all the great things they're doing in their classroom and beyond. Latrice, in terms of the number of awards and the recipients that will receive them in March, what do you hope these kids take away from the process of being recognized, getting to stand in the auditoria at West Bloomfield Middle School in front of so many of their peers and see the impact of theirs and other kids' service to West Bloomfield?
We're hoping that they can carry this on and to encourage other kids to do the same thing. And I do believe that being recognized is a strong point in being, doing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. But at the same time, when you're recognized, it does make a difference in that individual to continue on being that great person.
And it's all going to happen from nominations from the community, people like you recognizing kids. Maybe it's your kid's friend, maybe it's a classmate, maybe it's your kid themselves and the work that you see them putting in behind the scenes at home to help their classmates and to help their community. WBYouthAssistance.org is the place to go for nominations. Latrice, but before we let you go, want to give you some time to let parents and others in the community know what information do they need to provide to give your team at West Bloomfield Youth Assistance the best overview of what this kid or these kids that they're nominating do for their community so that you can properly reward them for their contributions.
Well, they just need to fill out the basic information for the individual that they're nominating. And also, they just need to give a brief description of the reason why they feel this individual deserves to be nominated. So it can be simple information, things that they did throughout the year, things that they're doing within a community, any type of act of kindness that they feel that deserves to be recognized. Majority of the applications will be accepted. So the thing is, you got to get them in before the deadline.
Yeah, a lot of people get these recognitions every single year. It's a great day to be out at West Bloomfield Middle School to see some of the really quite amazing things that our kids are doing for their classmates, for their school, and for their community. Patrice, before we let you go, anything else that we haven't covered today? And we've covered a lot of ground on this so that people are ready to make those nominations by the end of this week.
I do want to also note that we do have the YBW West Bloomfield Youth Assistance Camp and Skill Building Scholarship available as well. And that scholarship is available through the rest of 2026. It is also on the website, and they can apply for that for any type of youth assistance, whether it's skill building, any program, summer camp, educational and enrichment activity. The YB West Bloomfield Youth Assistant will pay up to $250 towards any of those enrichment programs. So that's also something good to take advantage of, and that's also on the website. Applications are available now through the rest of 2026.
Just more ways to get our kids involved and enrich our community through our future, which is our children. Patrice, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. Once again, nominations will close for the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance Youth Recognition Awards on Friday, February 20th. Get those nominations in now. WBYouthAssistance.org is the website for more information on this and other programs. Then stay tuned here on Civic Center TV for coverage of the Youth Recognition Awards later on in the month of March. You're sitting around the table, dinner is done, but you want to keep family time going. So you grab a deck of cards and say, let's play a game. Well, if you're looking to add a new experience to your family gaming lineup, maybe the gaming lineup for when you have friends come over or another social gathering, Canasta may be just the thing for you and yours. Temple Israel wants to help you out in learning that game, some of the strategy, and turning it into a social event, hosting a night with consultant Rochelle Schuster, who joins us now on the Splash Live. Rochelle, thanks for joining us today for this special preview.
Thank you so much for having me. So exciting.
Yeah, glad to have you on to talk about this because people want to learn new activities. They want something that's fun for the family, fun for them and their friends, something fresh and different that maybe they haven't played before. Why is this game the perfect option?
Well, the funny thing is that this game has been around for a very, very, very long time. Mm-hmm. But for me, the goal of teaching people how to play Canasta was to bring people together. It's really not about the game Canasta specifically. It's about bringing people, like you said, your family, your friends, getting together and having a good time. But the game Canasta is fantastic. It's played with 2 decks of cards. You could play with 2 regular decks of cards. And the best thing about Canasta, it's a partner game. So you need to show up for your partner. So even if you are having a challenging day, you're going to table it for a little while, you're going to focus, and you're going to play. So that is my goal for teaching people this game, and Temple Israel is making it so exciting to come and meet so many people that I've connected with through social media.
It's a night with a Canasta consultant. Learn a little bit about the game, learn a little bit of the strategy, play a little bit, meet some people in the community. So much fun behind this. And Rochelle, as people come to this event and they are ready to learn maybe a new game for their lineup or improve their skills, what can they expect? What's going to kind of be the flow of this event?
So the goal of our event at Temple Israel is to talk about a couple of things. It's about talking about starting a new career at a different stage of life, which is something that I've been doing and working on. It's about connecting with people. And then it's about getting together and playing. So we're going to have a Q&A type forum. We're going to talk about moving forward at the next stage of life. And then we are also going to have opportunity for people who are players to play with their friends. You can come and be solo. We will set you up at a table, and I will be there to monitor, answer questions. Canasta is a very interesting game because while it is filled with rules, there are rules and there are table rules. So we'll talk about that. And, we just want everyone to be included and come and have a great night out.
And this is a game, Rochelle, that what's great about this is it's a great social game. It's something you can get together with friends and play. Maybe it's a good game for couples and their couple friends to play and get to know each other a little better, have some friendly competition. But it's something that's great for people of any age to learn a little bit and to have a little bit of that strategy that they can also employ beyond this game. How does gaming, in particular something like this that involves that strategy and that teamwork, translate beyond just your family game night?
Well, that's really what my goal of Canasta Consultant is. It's making it a priority to take a little time for yourself. And a lot of us forget about that. When we're young, we're busy doing all our school and all that kind of stuff, things that our parents are telling us that we need to do. And then as we move on to young adults, we're focusing on taking care of our own young children. And then, before you know it, you're very caught up and you're never really thinking about yourself. And really my motivation to get playing wasn't until much later on in life when I was watching how my mother did prioritize these relationships for herself, and it's keeping her an independent woman at 79 years old. But I teach women, men, all different ages, all different backgrounds to come together and play.
And you mentioned the connection with your mother and her connection to playing games with her friends kept her vibrant, kept her socially active, kept her building a community around her for years to come. For you personally, as you became the Canasta Consultant, how did you get into this? How did this become part of your life?
Well, it's actually a really fun story for me. I learned how to play many years ago, but like I said, I really didn't commit to the game. And if you don't play this game regularly, it's very hard to remember the rules. When I wanted to start playing again, and I would ask all my friends, everybody associated it with being old, with being a grandma. And I'm neither a grandma yet, hopefully soon, one day, but I'm getting older, but not really at that stage where people thought that this is what it's all about. So I would ask, and nobody wanted to play with me until somebody asked me. And I joined them, and it was the best Wednesday of my life. And while I've always worked as an adult, I said I was going to prioritize this for myself. And I'm an elementary school teacher by trade. So when people would ask me a question, I would answer them. And when they would ask me the same question, I would answer them again and not make them feel stupid about it. So people would say, you should teach. But I wanted to break that stereotype. So I asked my young adult children to help me create this Instagram Canasta Consultant. I asked 29 friends to follow me. That was a year ago, September. Now I have over 10,000 people part of my community. 500,000 people watch my tutorials a month, and it has been incredible.
A night with a Canasta Consultant at Temple Israel on Tuesday, March 10th, 6 p.m. at Temple Israel. More information can be found on temple-israel.org, or you can visit them on their Facebook page as well at Temple Israel MI. We're joined by Rochelle Schuster, who will be leading this class, teaching you how to play canasta, improving your game, and maybe even connecting with some people in the community. Rochelle, as you've held these sessions and taught people the game, taught them how the game can help them in other areas of your life, how have you found that just these courses alone have helped maybe build a little bit of community within the communities that you helped out in?
Well, it's interesting. When I started my social media platform right away, and I want you to know I didn't even know how to make a birthday post. So this was a learning curve for me, and it still is a learning curve for me. But what I quickly found out is that people want to make friends, and it's a little challenging sometimes to do that at this stage of life. When you're not making your friends at school or through your children. So a lot of people would reach out to me, and I very, very quickly started Matchmaking Mondays. So every Monday I will post Matchmaking Mondays, and the goal originally was to find people who wanted to learn how to play, and I would teach them in my community. And I've done that, and it's been amazing. And I've connected so many of my personal friends with other people. However, now when I post on Matchmaking Monday, I suggest people to write in the comments. I live here, I live in this city, I live in the state, I'm in New York. I'm coming to Michigan because they found me through social media, and I love that. So, it's a way to connect. People want to make friends. We we're so busy being on our phones and scrolling, and you forget how important real life connection is. So I hope that by giving people an opportunity to try to connect that way, we can bring that back to life.
How do you find, and it's an interesting point that you make about the technology of our modern day, how it kind of disrupts our social dynamics. How do you find that learning this new game, maybe with a loved one, maybe with some friends, employing it into a game night, helps to restore some of that, for lack of better terminology, normal social communications?
Listen, it's important, and the thing about doing something like this as a game, it's not expensive. So not every plan has to be around a big night out. So it is a way to connect. I do teach a lot of women, but you've mentioned couples, and very often after I do teach the women, they want their husbands to learn. And it's a really fun way to come together, whether you have a steady game or, once a month get together with a group. So my husband doesn't play, but that's okay. But, it really is a wonderful way to connect with people. And even, children. Canasta is a challenging game. I don't teach a lot of children how to play canasta, to be honest with you, but I'm sure they could learn. But it's really more about getting together.
Every time I think about canasta, and even just getting ready for this show today, I kept going back to thinking about, look, it's a complicated game. It's a little bit of a team element. There's a lot of different rules flying around. It's kind of like we play this game in Michigan called euchre. It's a big game all across the state of Michigan. Pretty much everyone knows how to play it, except for me. Don't tell anyone. So, this kind of similar connection gives people a new game to maybe try out in their homes here in Greater West Bloomfield. Rochelle Schuster's with us. She'll be hosting a night with a canasta consultant at Temple Israel on March 10th. Anything else we should know before we have to say goodbye today?
Just, go for it. It's okay. Don't feel like you're not smart enough, that you don't have people to play with. Find the people. Maybe I can help you find the people. So reach out to me if that's something that you're interested in doing. I would love to see you. And I can't wait to meet my friends at Temple Israel in Michigan. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on and welcome you, and hope to see you very soon. Have a pleasant time when you join us out here in Greater West Bloomfield in March. Rochelle, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You can find more information on this and other events at Temple Israel on their website, temple-israel.org, or follow them on Facebook at Temple Israel MI. Once again, a night with a canasta consultant, Rochelle Schuster, happening at Temple Israel Tuesday, March 10th at 6 p.m. Mark your calendars, learn something new, build a new social group, and have some fun. Why not? It's going to be a great night at Temple Israel. Greater West Bloomfield is a community of art lovers. From the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show to Art Sale Collective in the Tri-Cities, the creative process is one of the great connectors of people near and far in our community. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff stopped by Art Leaders Gallery in West Bloomfield to explore these connections at their new hit event, Sip and Savor.
Art Leaders Gallery is an art showcase tucked away right in the corner of West Bloomfield that showcases a wide variety of beautiful art pieces for the community to enjoy. The gallery just held their second annual Sip and Savor event, allowing customers to stop by, take a look at all of the wonderful art exhibits on display, and to possibly even take some of these pieces home with them themselves. And with a beautiful gallery like this, there truly is a work of art for everybody.
So a couple months ago, my husband and I randomly came in to see the gallery since we live very close, and we loved it so much, and there happened to be an event going on that evening, and everyone that's come up, we've tried to attend as much as possible because the people here at Art Leaders are just fantastic, and we love the art, we love the people.
They've got a ton of cool pieces. The Masterwork series are great. The service is unbelievable. We've had some stuff framed up here before. The framing is, they do an exceptional job. So, we like to support them in any way we can.
How great is it to have such a vibrant art gallery tucked away here in West Bloomfield that maybe not a lot of people know about?
I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, again, to your point, it is tucked away, but it's pretty awesome. I think people can come out and enjoy and see it, check it out.
Yeah, it's a really cool spot. Like you said, you could miss it if you don't know it's here. I love that they get different local artists and national artists and just historic artists, and they get a whole different vibe across different parts of the room, and they pull it all together really well, and they're very knowledgeable about telling you about everything behind all the scenes of how art was made, what's good about it, what they like, the different artists. It's really an informative experience.
And not only that, but they're creating immersive experiences like the ones that are taking place here tonight, with inviting the customers in, giving them a chance to not only check out the art, but maybe possibly take some of it home with them.
Oh, absolutely. We have fallen victim to taking home many pieces of art since we've started coming in, so it's a great time.
And what does this place really do to help exemplify the art scene in Greater West Bloomfield?
Supporting local artists. We have these local events monthly now, and just really trying to do a lot of community outreach. I want to just keep seeing them coming in every so often. I really want to see them enjoy themselves, come to all of our events, and also walk out with a few good pieces.
A lot of people probably drive by here and don't even know what it is. It's kind of tucked away here in this little corner, but I would say this is by far the best gallery in the area. They've got a ton of pieces that you just can't get anywhere else in the area.
Housing all of these wonderful, extravagant art pieces has made Art Leaders Gallery truly a gem of the community as it continues to expand and enhance the ever-growing art scene throughout Greater West Bloomfield. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Hey, you know you're doing something right when you're able to bring people out to this event. You tried it out a year ago. It works super well. People want it back. They're asking when the next one is. You bring it back for year number 2, and it's just as big of a hit. Appreciate it, Jake. That's our show. I want to remind you that television that's close to home is always online on CivicCenterTV.com and across our social media. A big thank you to our entire crew for making the magic happen behind the scenes, and here's to you as well for being part of today's adventure along with me. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Kieft. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV.